During the 1980s crack epidemic, Maserati Rick was one of the most recognized drug dealers in the city of Detroit. The flashy cars and exotic suits, and even his public death, made him an urban legend. Rick and his childhood friend, Demetrius Holloway, began their rise to fame in 1977 after the Fed started to bring down the infamous YBI gang for drug conspiracy and murder charges.
Maserati Rick was a good buddy of Demetrius's, but he was almost the polar opposite of Demetrius Holloway. Meech was a generous guy. I think anybody that knew him. Rick, if he told me it was raining outside, I might make plans to play golf. If he told me it was sunny, I'd probably go get my umbrella. He was just a different kind of guy.
Beside the lifelong association with Carter, it was alleged that Holloway was also close with James Red Freeman and this man, Big Frank Nitty Usher of the Murder Row gang.
Big Frank Nitty Usher was kind of a 80s gangster in the 70s.
It was in this neighborhood on Detroit's east side near City Airport that he met a group of guys that introduced him to stealing cars.
After working briefly as a postal clerk on the east side in 1979, he was convicted of interstate transportation of stolen goods. And by 1980, he was sent to a federal prison in Chicago, Illinois.
When Demetrius Holloway went to jail.
East side was definitely like the Wild West, it was like being in Vietnam, almost like a third world country in terms of the kind of violence that was taking place on a day in, day out basis.
Why do you think so many people are getting killed?
From drugs.
Today, crack cocaine use here is an epidemic, up 200% in the last year.
The configurations were much looser and more flexible, and it was hard for the media and for the police to kind of get a grip on it.
Several months after being harassed, Holloway would disappear at the Top Hat hamburger stand on Gratiot and Ford Freeway. Witnesses describe a blast of gunfire and squealing tires while a man's body was tossed in a trunk.
He was smart enough when the heat got too high. He organized his own disappearance.
Holloway loved to shop. In fact, you would often find him here at the Broadway buying the best of clothes. His family and friends knew that, but so did his enemies. In fact, on October 8th, 1990, some of those enemies showed up here and murdered him while he was shopping.
Police tonight refused to release the identity of the man found shot at the Broadway clothing store. But friends and relatives of Demetrius Holloway gathered quickly after word of the shooting spread through the city. This woman, who says she's Holloway's wife, could get little information. Officers questioned Holloway's brothers about whether he carried a pager and what he was wearing today.
Do you have anything like a blue jean or type of suit or something? I guess what they call used or something.
They said the person there has on a two-piece used